top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice. It's one of the few Zergs that is left here in this tournament. Hailing from Team GP, ladies and gentlemen, in the red, it's Cham.
And the guy spawning at the bottom left, hailing as the blue Zerg, for Team Liquid, it is Elazer.
All right. And yeah, I have not seen a lot of Cham games, to be completely honest. Has not been a player that I've really gotten to watch the most of, unlike some others. So I'm interested to see how he does, especially against someone like Elazer. Elazer has been, especially recently, just like top-level European Zerg, topping groups in regionals, even if he hasn't made it far in playoffs. In smaller series, he has been incredibly strong, and even extending that into best of fives. So I'm very excited to see how Elazer does this matchup. I think it's going to be very, very fun between these two. I would not be surprised though if we just see kind of a handshake into Roach Wars. I feel like both these players are going to be very comfortable with that. I don't think there's going to be much worry for them. Like, they're going to be like, yeah, roaches, we could do that. But we'll have to see. As we get on into it, obviously Tropical Sacrifice is a larger map. We're not probably going to see any of these crazier timings on a map like this. Once we get to, you know, your waterfall, once you get to Inside and Out, in Moondance, that's where you start to see a few of the different builds come in, where you might go for a 14 pool. We might start to see 3-minute Roach Warren, and those sorts of things. But for now, I expect this to be completely standard.
Yeah, looking very much standard thus far. We do have the speed started off just a tad bit quicker from Elazer, but not too far ahead. As looks like Cham will start getting his third hatchery. Will get spotted by the observer of, or sorry, not observer, overlord of Elazer. So he should, you know, he has a couple of decisions. He can get a third of his own, or he can elect to go for mastlings. Doesn't look like there's a baneling nest. Although he does have 2 drones on the gas, so can definitely make those banelings if need be.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be fun. We went from mirror matchup to mirror matchup, so now we got to completely reprogram our brains here for Zerg versus Zerg. But, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I feel like there's some similarities between Protoss versus Protoss and Zerg versus Zerg. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's some, all right? So hear me out. Hear me out. First of all, both players will usually end up going for the same unit composition. So then it comes down to timings on things like upgrades, on things like maybe an additional tech. So think about like your robotics facility, you know, and then that might be like your Hydralisk den, if you're getting really crazy. The Zerglings are like the Stalker Wars in the early game. Metabolic boost is Blink. You know, it all works. It all works. Trust me.
I guess you can see it that way. And then all the Zergs and Protosses out there is like, what are you talking about there?
This man doesn't know what he's talking about. How is he casting this event?
No, I feel, yeah, like, yeah, there's a couple of like, in the early game, sometimes it can just come down to just blind build order wins and losses.
Yeah.
But actually, hold that thought. Do see some banelings morphing in from Elazer. I don't think this is a huge committal. I mean, there's only a couple of links. He is throwing down the Roach Warren, so there is going to be a Roach follow-up, but looks like he's going to go for some light pressure here.
Well, what are you talking about? This is not light pressure. That's 22 Zerglings on the way.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Snoopy, this is very aggressive. Yeah, the Lings distracting as the Banelings now trying to make their way up the ramp. The other Banelings going to stop them as they try and chase away the Banes. Nice detonation there. 3 Banelings for 2 now for Elazer is a great start, especially considering the fact that, yes, he does have a Roach Warren behind us. They're even on workers right now. Both players going to be flooding units, but that Roach timing can start to be... Ooh, nice Baneling connection there for Cham. But can start to get very, very dangerous. Now, there's a cancel there on that Spine Crawler, which means it's not actually going to finish. That's a forced cancel for Cham. Very, very unfortunate there on that timing. That's... he knew they wanted to finish this. Oh my god, Elazer so many banelings here. Has to be careful not to get them detonated by the 2 of Cham. Is going to finally find a decent fight there himself. Now committing on in, and the Zerglings are just falling for Cham, as Mika just getting so aggressive here in the early game. And if that third base goes down, that might just be the game decided right here and now. But more and more reinforcements coming in for Cham. Elazer already starting that glial reconstitution. Baneling connections so far actually good for our Mexican Zerg. It's gonna force Elazer away.
Yeah, that kind of got a little bit dicey there, but looks like Cham will finally hold stable. But there are some roach follow-up by both players actually, so we'll see how much they do commit in.
Yeah, Elazer. I mean, the fact that he's gotten this third base so low is just it's such a hindrance for Cham going on in this game. He has to constantly be aware of Ling run-bys and anything that can come through and try and find damage. Although this is very nicely done here. These 2 Banelings zoning out so much. Finally, just a singular Zergling peeled away. Very nice micro from Elazer, but still going to lose 11 drones as Cham, a wonderful run by there, catches Elazer out of position. And that's going to be a rough spot now for Elazer. You know, it felt like he had gotten a lot of leeway in this game from that early attack, but suddenly you lose those workers. Your third base, you know, Cham is caught up now, back on that worker count, and you didn't snipe the third base, so that aggression not working out as he'd like, and you see Elazer, he's now having to reevaluate his plan. Spire is on the way, as he knows that, yeah, I'm actually kind of behind now, and Cham just has more.
Yeah, now the question is, can he keep Cham busy enough so that he can get those mutalisks out? Right now, he's going to go ahead and split off some of the Lings into the main base, kind of draw him back into his own base instead of going across the map. Spire is only halfway done, so still need to buy some additional time. But looks like Cham, he's ready to move out. He's got, let's see how many roaches is that. 21 roaches versus the 12 of Elazer. Elazer, he is in huge trouble right now.
Yeah, I mean, just very well done by Cham here, knowing exactly, I mean, when that counterattack needs to go in, finding great success with it. Elazer not being ready, doesn't have Banelings ready, and that just means that overall takes too much damage. But here we go, defender's advantage. Is it going to be enough here for Elazer? He's starting to fight actually at a supply deficit already as Cham walking forward. The concave for both players is not the best, but the roach count tells the story. 22-10. Cham trying to just commit on it. I mean, just killing roaches. If he gets all of these down, it just feels like Cham, is he going to be able to snowball this to a win? It felt like it was so dire earlier on with the attack from Elazer. He wasn't ready, he wasn't prepared, but he's turned it around and now just walking on forward, and it's a slow fight. But he's slowly starting to eke it out. The reinforcements coming through from Elazer is trying to buy so much time, just microing back both fronts, slowly moving in with one side, pulling back with the other to delay Cham until these mutas are out. 1 now is available, 4 more on the way, and the mutas might just be able to buy enough time here for Elazer to survive.
Yeah, the spine crawler trying to do his job to hold off the roaches, but more and more roaches come in. I don't think he's going to be able to break the natural, but he can definitely clean up and clear out the majority of the dirt in terms of drones and maybe even some of these simulators. But these mutalisks trying to clean up. However, is it going to be able to clean up those roaches fast enough?
It's a constant fight here. It's like non-stop flooding of units for Cham. The mutas are trying their best bringing down shots from above, but these roaches, they have so much armor. 13 workers now going down as the third base has been completely ravaged. And it feels like Cham, I mean, once this third base goes down, that might just be the game. 5 more mutas on the way, but they are queens at home. I mean, Cham can also build spore crawlers once he retreats, but the third base falls. And despite the mutalisks trying their hardest, these are 0-0 mutas. They do not kill roaches very quickly. And Cham, I mean, I don't know how he's gotten back in this game, but suddenly he's just in a massive lead.
Yeah, that attack really kind of decimated Elazer's economy and was able to get on top of the roaches as well. Now all he needs to do, Cham, is just to make sure he doesn't just die to these mutalisks. I mean, these mutalisks, they don't have the the beefiest of attacks, but in enough numbers, they can actually do quite a lot, and actually can.
Oh my God, so many overlords.
Oh yeah.
supply block coming through here for Cham. I mean, more Overlords can go down. There's 2 still across the map. And the Mutas, I mean, that is finding intrinsic value in and among itself. The fact you're able to delay your opponent for so long. 1 Muta has been peeled off to clean off the Overlords back across the map as the rest of the flock is continuing to poke around. 5 more on the way. Going up to 17 Mutalisks here for Elazer. He's committing completely into them. He knows that, yeah, the Mutas are really the only shot that I have right now at finding success, but Burrow and Tunneling Claws is done. That just means that these roaches, they're so much harder to find. They're so much harder to keep track of, especially when you don't have any detection for Elazer. Cham, he's going to commit on in, and the first shots go well, just burrows. And he can just wait here, but the Overseer is almost done for Elazer. More roaches finding their way now into the natural as they burrowed on in. Tunneling Claws also done, meaning that they can move while underground, and Elazer has to split up his army now to try and find this defense, but he's losing more workers, and the third base is going to go down again. And I don't see a way in which Cham is going to lose this.
Yeah, this is just too much damage. I mean, third base gone, but also 15 drones. I mean, Elazer's economy has been set back all the way to the Stone Age, and I just don't know what Elazer can do. Even if he goes for the counterattack, will it be enough? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, their Mutas are trying their hardest, and you know, Cham is just continuing to produce roach after roach after roach, but it just is not. It doesn't matter. He just has so much. And for Elazer, I mean, it's been a valiant effort to hold on with these Mutalisks. And to be fair, Cham has been pretty all in this whole time. And even though there is, you know, there is actually a Hydralisk den, there hasn't really been any Hydras produced. And now there's enough Mutalisks that they can potentially try and dive onto Spore Crawlers, start to knock down buildings. They can be very, very annoying. One Muta is going to die there. But with the Hydras coming out, it just makes it so much harder for Elazer in this game, where he's already down in economy, 42 workers to 21. Even though Cham is like stuck on 3 bases, it doesn't need more. He can stick on this, and as long as he doesn't throw away all of his units for free, he should be fine. Although this is a bit aggressive here by Cham, as he's just walking on in, but does he have enough to try and end the game here? I don't know, actually. The Mutas, they're starting to stack up that damage with the glaives. Cham is going to have to retreat away. And just starting to get a bit inefficient here for our Mexican Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, the Elazer has amassed what would be maybe a critical mass of Mutalisks, where, you know, Cham has to think twice before he sends his roaches across the map. And right now, I think Cham just turtle up, mass up enough Hydralisks, and then once he has enough Hydralisks just go across the map with the roaches and maybe even the queens, maybe throw down a Nidus Worm to make it so that the queens can join up in the fight. But certainly, you know, he should wait to have enough Hydralisks before he moves out for the next time around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, throwing away those units, I mean, I don't know if it's going to matter much. Cham, I feel like potentially a better choice during this game would have actually been to just take a 4th base to push the advantage that he had, instead of just continuing to produce units. But maybe he'll be able to build up a strong enough army that he's going to be able to win regardless. But the Roach War is actually going to be focused down here. It's open, it's available. Cham hasn't moved across the map, so he's not going to get counterattack damage. Overlords are actually going to start to fall, as there's no Spore Crawler here. And these Mutas are starting to find a lot of damage, and it's damage that Cham has not really been able to strike back, as now he's going to move across the map. Mind you, these Hydras, they don't have range, they don't have speed, and Elazer, he's just not going to engage the army. He snipes the 3rd base. Elazer is suddenly making this look like it's a much closer game than I feel like it has any right to be, but his army is actually of similar size. I mean, the Mutas, they're going to have +1/+1 soon, and if he can wait, if he can delay taking this fight until his Mutas have 1/1, then suddenly the math is thrown completely out of whack. And Cham, it felt like he had every single advantage, but he never took a 4th. He never. Oh, the Hydras are exposed. The Mutas diving on forward. I mean, Elazer, he thinks he has enough, and if he does, getting rid of all the Hydras, now suddenly he can dive onto the roaches. Oh, Elazer, big move. The counterattack, though, in the natural of Elazer is going to get cleaned up by more and more Mutalisks. I don't know if Elazer pulled that trigger a bit too soon on that fight, though. He lost a lot of his Mutas.
Yeah, but he did clean up and clear out the majority of the Hydralisks, and that is going to be huge Right now, you know, that kind of buys him some time. Cham has to wait for additional Hydralisk to kind of come out and pop out to help go across the map. But in the meantime, these roaches keeping Elazer busy, taking down 14 workers, as if Elazer's economy wasn't hurt enough.
I'm pretty sure Elazer has lost like 67 workers this game. He's lost 67 workers. He's only killed 12, and somehow he's only behind 12 drones. Just to give you an idea of how all in Cham has been. We're just building units, not expanding, not macroing up. Like, this has just been I mean, again, this is, I think, the only reason why Elazer right now is in this game. The only reason why Elazer is ahead in supply right now is because Cham never pushed that economic advantage. And there was plenty of times where he could, but instead, I mean, they reached a point where Cham has now been throwing away roaches for not much damage, not much success. Elazer is equalizing in that drone count. And man, Mika, with just the crisis management here, making the right moves, knowing how to hold on and what to do to try have the best shot at winning. And now suddenly this game is back to an even state. Elazer, he's on an even economy with Cham. He has upgrades for his mutas. These are 1-1 mutas, Snoopy. There's no upgrades for Cham. So those Hydras, sure, they're technically counter Mutalisks, but they don't do it well, especially down upgrades.
Yeah, these Mutalisks, they pack a punch. And, oh, looks like he's going to go ahead and try to evade once again. Now, this is a scary time here for Cham. He has his queens separated completely against his Hydralisk. If Elazer can just fly back home, I don't think the Hydralisk will be fast enough.
Oh, what is Cham doing? No, why? If all of his units are across the map, the Hydras are at home.
Oh,
if you want to commit to the base race, commit to the base race. But Elazer, he's going to clean up everything else. The roaches are gone. It's just Hydralisk and a few roaches. These mutas are running circles around Cham's army. Elazer's never taking a straight up fight. He's picking off singular Hydralisks when they're not grouped up. He's just continuing to find damage. The Hydra Den is going to go down. And Elazer, from what felt like so far behind, has gotten himself a 50 supply in this game. How has he done this?
The magic of Mutalisks.
The magic of Mutalisks, the magic of... I mean, again, I don't want to take away from what Elazer has done, but if forcing Cham to just consistently build units, Cham never wanted to take an expansion because he felt like he could end the game. And at one point, you know, when you're just pushing roaches across the map, every time you do that, they're going to die because the mutas can come back home, they can chase them down. And I felt like Cham, if he had just sat back, if he had gotten up a 4th base, if he had macroed up, gotten his Hydra count up, and then moved across the map, this game would have looked much different. But he got impatient, it felt like. And Elazer just played this out the best that he could in the situation. He knew exactly what he needed to do, buy his time, delay with the Mutalisks, and it's worked out. And now suddenly it feels like a situation where Elazer, he's up in the roach count, actually. He has more Mutalisks than there are Hydras. It's just a matter of time before he's going to come across the map here and finish this off. Man, Elazer. Freaking... I'm so impressed at how well he handled this game from behind.
Yeah, he kept just following or finding like half of Cham's army and just completely destroying it. And basically, he just did the simple divide and conquer tactic. And now he is going to go for the kill. He's going to go ahead and got on top of the 3 o'clock base here, and I think this just might be it.
Now the roaches win alone. There's enough of them for Elazer. He has more minerals at that 3rd base that he took because it died so early on. He held on 2 bases versus 3. He now is denying the cocoons. GG Elazer. He delays. He does not let you take the fight that you want. He plays it out as perfectly as he can from behind. He's going to pick up the win in game number 1. Man, that's got to be heartbreaking for Cham.
Yeah, he was in such a great position. And look, man, like coming to this series, like Cham was already kind of the underdog heading into it. And he was in such a great position to take game number 1 and get himself in a good lead here. But to just give it away, that is got to be heartbreaking, man. Ooh, I kind of feel sorry for Cham.
Yeah, that was crazy. Snoopy, I gotta ask this right now because, you know, we can decide this, and for everyone watching, here's a little bit of a preview. What round 2 matchup do you want that's not Serral Joon?
Ooh, huh.
They're all really good.
Yeah, you know what? I am tempted to say Clem versus Bunny because we start off with PvP. We're now in
We got
ZVZ,
CVZ.
and might as
We
well.
take a TVT.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I need to get the lobby up. 1 sec. It's data C. Oh, Elazer's got it. Look at Elazer being on top of things. I mean, yeah, we could absolutely. I think that's going to be a pretty incredible matchup. There's also Scarlet versus Nightmare. Watching that dream run there. So we'll have to make that decision. That's just going to be a tough one.
Oh, looks like we got a remake here. They made without the ESL map, so all right, I'll just let them know.
Yeah, let them know that I'll make lobby. I got it. We're professionals here.
Yeah, I actually prefer either admin or you making it, because like sometimes these players they start off the match, the countdown before we can select the names.
Yeah.
From the logos mod,
Oh yeah.
All right, we gotta move Cham up there. I don't want to face against Elazer.
Snoopy's playing against Elazer. Let's go. All right. Yeah, here we go. Game number 2. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for the next round matches. We'll have to decide, because like there's part of me that wants the TVT, but there's also part of me that's like Scarlet versus Nightmare. That could be really interesting. But then also Ragnarok Hero Marine. Oh. I'm conflicted.
Yeah, they're all great matches.
I mean, yeah.
Can't go wrong with either.
Can't go wrong. Well, you know what? I'm gonna sit on it for a little bit. I'll see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
As we keep casting, ladies and gentlemen, bottom left hand corner year of Data C. The Blue Zerg hailing from Mexico. It is Cham.
And the Red Zerg, hailing from ours, Dreams, and Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And I gotta say, the Team GP boys have been stepping it up. Cham, I mean, already making it this far, putting up some really good games, beating some players like Haas, has had some great results, and you also have Nightmare as well. This is a team that has not had the most success, aside from like a Ryung, has usually been the player to find the most success on their team, but we're seeing the others step it up, and it's great to see.
Yeah, they're still growing, and they're trying to make a name for themselves. Good showing here by Cham, and yeah, I think Ryung is probably the more better known name, but yeah, quickly Cham is rising through the ranks.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into ZVZ at the highest level that I think Cham might not quite be used to. Just seeing how that last game played out, and the like the refusal essentially to take the that 4th base and kind of stop the pressure once the mutas are out. That's a situation that's very hard to make a call on. That's just something that comes with experience, and obviously Cham playing in the Latin America region, you don't get a lot of other high-level Zergs. It's a lot of Terrans.
Yeah, usually he's playing against the likes of Special, who's always kind of making it into the either the semifinals or the final of the Latin America regionals.
Yeah,
pretty much Special and Cham, and then also, unless I'm forgetting anyone else, but usually they're the ones who's kind of dominating that region.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, the matches, they are continuing on for those wondering what's maybe going on. If you're not watching on the squad stream, well, Creator right now is up 2-0 over Sue, actually.
Oh, wow.
That series is already starting to get very close. Estrella 2-1 over Lambo. There's a lot of, I mean, these series have been very, very explosive. These players, they've not been really like, they haven't been holding back at all, and it's great to see, you know, just everyone kind of being aggressive, being, you know, really testing their limits.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. The first place prize pool is at $15,000, which is a good chunk of money. And I'm sure these players would love to go home with that big, huge chunk of cash. You know, we're getting into the, you know, the kind of the holiday season as well as the Black Friday season. You know, people gotta get that money to buy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for those people, like, you know, for people who get eliminated in this round, it's you know, $1,000 or so. You get into the next round, you almost double that to 2,000. You make it into, you know, you make it past that round into the top 8. Suddenly, you know, you're adding on even more, and it just gets, it exponentially gets higher and higher. If you get 3rd and 4th, that's where it starts to get, that's where you get the majority of the prize pool. And so, yeah, for these players, you know, you really do want to make it really deep in this tournament. And so we've seen, I think some players have some unfortunate, like, not quite as good results as we would expect from them. But in a lot of other cases, we're seeing a lot of players step up and play better than I think we would have ever expected.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, sometimes, you know, certain players play better at LAN events versus online events, so that's also a factor to consider. And then, of course, you know, players such as Rainer and Dark, they're not in here, so, you know, that kind of provides maybe a somewhat easier path for some. And certain players are definitely taking advantage of that. But in the meantime, looks like we have a little bit of a run by into the main. Doesn't really get too much beside the Queen, but it looks like Cham, he's got almost more than double the supply, army supply of Elazer. He's going for it.
Yeah. Cham, this is it. This is the all-in off of 3 bases. Elazer, though, already has a spine crawler on the way. I think for Cham, you look for the 3rd base here. You see the Queens at the top of the ramp. You see the fact that Elazer, you know, is ready there. Maybe you just commit to the other side. You commit to that 3rd. You try and knock it down. That might just be the best bet. Those spine crawlers are just now popping up, but they're not ready quite yet. Baneling's now rolling on in. Ooh, that's a very, very low Ravager as the Baneling's rolling on into the Roaches. Actually get a massive connection here for Cham. He's going to try and now dive on top of them. The Queen's also off of creep. Ling's coming in for Elazer, though. Cham needs to get his own in here to help defend. As Cham, I mean, trying to make it happen. 22 more Lings on the way, but the Roach count now in favor of Elazer, or just about even, actually, 6 apiece. But you do have that additional health. You have the reinforcements coming through, and unfortunately for Cham, this aggression has not paid off. Elazer read it extremely well and was prepared for the defense.
Yeah, that defender's advantage really playing a huge part there, allowing Elazer.
Surround.
Oh, beautiful surround.
Yeah, Elazer, man, he's just so good at holding on. Great job there, and essentially just completely shuts it down. He cuts his own workers. He knows what he needs to do. Cham is now trying to rebuild to the point that he can defend, but he's down 15 Roaches to 3. The Ling count is even, but even with these 8-9 Roaches coming through for Cham, he's not actually going to be even on army supply. As Elazer now pushing this, and if he gets the 3rd base, you know, suddenly is a very similar position to the last game, except the roles have been reversed, where now Cham is the one losing the 3rd very early on. Elazer, do you just focus it down? I think you do, Elazer. If you're going to sacrifice these Roaches, at least focus down the hatchery, Elazer!
No! Oh, no! Oh, that might have been a mistake that might come back to bite him later on in the game, but oh my goodness, it was so low in life, he could just focus fired on it.
Yeah, I mean, 9 drones going down is obviously nice, but still, if you got that 3rd as well and killed 9 drones, this could have just been the win. That could have been the game over right then and there. It's just very unfortunate for Elazer that he was not able to. Cham is now going to swing it across the map again, and this is what I said. This CBZ, it's going to be scrappy. It's going to be crazy. These players that did not want to stay passive. What is the Roach count looking like, though? It's only a slight lead here for Cham, 16 to 12. Defender's advantage is also a thing, but it's 36 Lings for Cham that are streaming across the map. Those 36 Zerglings can absolutely swing things as soon as they arrive here. Elazer, he's a bit far out. He's actually off of the creep with his Queens. Lings, where are they? They're now going to stream on in. And Elazer, did he step too far out? I don't know. Actually won the Roach trade. the Lynx took so long to get here for Cham, as now he's trying to fight it. Lynx trying to absorb as much of the damage as they can, but Elazer holds on. He's up 30 supply.
Ooh.
And Elazer, he just has that extra production, that extra income. He's up 14 workers from that initial 9 that he killed. He has not been, I mean, he hasn't taken any economic damage behind this.
Yeah, and right now he's double digits ahead in the workers, and just all he needs to do is defend any incoming attack, and I think he should be fine. I mean, he can theoretically just move across the map and focus fire, maybe corrosive bow that low life hatchery.
Yeah, it's so low. That is very tempting, as Zergling's going to make their way on in here for Cham. Going to try and find some counterattack damage. Hey, getting a queen would be nice. Look for some, maybe some of those drones in the drone line. Looks like, yeah, finds 4. It's 5, maybe. Not just the 4. And it's not really what you're ideally looking for here as Cham. I mean, you're trying to get back in this game, but look at this. I mean, Elazer, Galil reconstitution. Elazer was actually this whole time, did not have roach speed, by the way. Cham has had roach speed. And it's absolutely insane that Elazer has still been winning these engagements, winning these fights. Banelings, oh, yeah, the drone splits are just really good. That's
nice.
It doesn't even get a drone.
Wow.
Very nicely done by Elazer. But yeah, Elazer soon, he's going to have speed. He's going to have +1. And that upgrade differential, when you're up in roaches, just becomes so hard to fight against. And it feels like only a matter of time here before Elazer wants to close out this game. But man, it's been scrappy. Cham, he's been making them close. There have been these times where it feels like he might just have enough, but the fights don't go his way. He doesn't have the rounds of units in time. Actually, now Cham getting out on the map here with these roaches has to be careful. Again, that speed is done for Elazer. If he pushes it a little bit too far forward, it could be very, very bad. As yeah, the rest of the roaches coming in. Elazer just has so much right now.
Yeah, as soon as he saw it, as soon as Cham saw the roaches, he's like, "Up, bye." Going back home.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Don't want to fight that right now. It's 51 to 35. +1 is finishing up. Elazer, he wants to pull the trigger. He wants to end the game. And he's showing Cham, listen, when you have an advantage, this is how you use it. A few roaches now going for a counterattack. Elazer, is just going to keep them there. They can just, I mean, Cham has to respect it because they can just dive in and snipe the hatchery, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Look at this angle from Elazer. He has a flank as well as he just dives on in. The +1 shreds through the roaches of Cham, and that's going to be GG. Elazer goes up 2-0.
Man, what a scrappy game there. That was so back and forth. At one moment, we're like, oh, Elazer, he's in trouble. And then on the other hand, we're like, oh no, I think Cham might just lose that hatchery. He's on the back foot. And then all of a sudden, oh no, Cham going for the counterattack. He's got a huge, decent army supply lead. And then, you know, oh, Elazer holds. He's going for the counter, and he just finishes it off. Yeah, just so much back and forth.
Yeah, very, very well done. I mean, it's very, very fun game there. And again, it's been close every time. You know, Cham has been making it close. It's just, unfortunately, he's so, like, Elazer is so consistent. It's really, it's crazy just that those slight differences, how much they can affect how the game goes.
Yeah, and you know, I kind of think back at that first game as like that could have been a win for Cham, and we would be looking at a 1-1 scenario, but instead we're looking at a scenario where Cham, he's on the back foot. His back is against the wall. He's got to go 3-0, or else he's eliminated from this tournament.
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
and we're getting into the lobby now.
Select the names. All right, here we go.
We got it all set up. Look at that. We're professionals here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, Cosmic Sapphire Cham back against the wall. It's a rough situation. Elazer has just looked so solid. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Also, we have Bunny Clem.
Oh,
That's the next round.
Nice.
Winter snagged away Scarlet Nightmare as I was sitting on it.
So we're just taking all the mirror matchups.
We're taking all the mirror matchups. Listen, I know that I won't be able to stick with Nightmare, and it makes me very sad. But, you know what? I will be cheering on Nightmare from here. while we're watching the other series. We're watching a TVT. But ladies and gentlemen, top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire. He's down 0-2 in the blue. Hailing from Mexico, he is Cham.
All right, and spawning here at the bottom right. He's got a 2-0 lead, a dominant 2-0 lead. Can he close it out? It is Team Liquid's Elazer.
All right. Man, it's just been Elazer. He's just been getting slight leads, being slightly better in a lot of different cases, and so...
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew coming into this series that it was going to be a tall order for Cham.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. But he's made it look close at some points. There have been times where it's felt like Cham has these openings and he has the opportunity to push in and to try and win the game, and just unfortunately he hasn't been able to turn those into any significant lead.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the Australia versus Neeb kind of matchup where, yeah, Neeb has had the majority of the victories, as of late, but Australia has made a lot of the games really close, to the point where, at a certain point he was ahead and was not able to finish it, and then he ends up losing to Neeb. But yeah, it's like very, very close, even though the score might not indicate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really would love for Cham to be able to find a game here. We'll have to see, though. As we get into Cosmic Sapphire, this is, again, it's like Data C. It's a bigger map. These macro cycles are very, very important in timing things out. I mean, a little bit less important than if you're on a small map like Waterfall or Moondance, but still very important in terms of just like, if you're able to get those few extra rounds of drones in, because of that rush distance, because of that time that this map gives you, you can find pretty major advantages because of it. Both players, though, expanding in the same pattern with Zergling speed on the way. So we should just see the standard Baneling Nest, kind of Ling Bane battles that we've been seeing. Usually they've been going pretty evenly, and I gotta give a lot of props to Cham. He's actually sometimes been even winning those Ling Bane fights, although he doesn't lose the Ling. But yeah, has been winning those Ling Bane fights and has been actually really not taking a lot of damage there and showing off some really, really great micro. So the early game really hasn't been the problem. I think it's been this kind of transition into the Roach Ravagers into the mid game, and when the aggression starts, that's when just you see Elazer's experience. I mean, he constantly gets to play against the best of the best in Europe, against Lambo, Serral, Raynor. When you have those practice partners in Zerg versus Zerg, you're going to be really good at it. You're gonna know the matchup in and out.
Yeah, that's a great point. If you're kind of constantly playing in the region where they have some of the best Zergs in the world, eventually it rubs off on you, and you kind of start to improve as well. And the Cham on the other side, I don't remember any notable Zergs. I might be forgetting. I'm not as familiar in the Latin America scene, but not a lot. Not as much notable Zerg names that I can recall.
Yeah, there are a few, of course. I mean, if you're looking at the Latin America region, you do have a few Zergs, but they're not really the big names that you get in other regions, in terms of Zergs. Like, I think you have Eggs, Eric, Jim Rising. Usually that's semifinals, but they haven't really gotten much further than that. And so I think that's why. But yeah, Cham has really been the one. He's been the Zerg that people know from Latin America. As we do have an interesting development here. Elazer actually cutting drones here at 42. Yeah, has a lot of Zerglings here. He's going to try and keep this pressure up. A nice position here by Cham, actually keeping the Queen alive for as long as possible, as well as the hold position on the drones. Means that he only loses 4 as Elazer keeps trying to go in. Is going to find maybe one more drone kill before he has to back on up, but also is just spelling units behind this. It's 4 roaches, it's 22 Zerglings. Is Cham going to be ready? No, it's another round of drones. Oh no, Cham is not ready for this. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to this mid-game, this macro. Managing these cycles of larva is so important, and with an extra round of drones, I don't know if you can hold on to this. You're 10 drones up when you're trying to hold against this much pressure. That is not good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cham has positioned his overlords on the left side a little bit too far away so that he was not able to scout this in time, and now he is getting punished for it.
Yeah, and I think this just might be it. I mean, Elazer's diving on in. GG, Cham did not have the vision, did not get the scout off, and that means that he's just going to die to the pressure. And Elazer pulls the trigger, says, listen, I want to go on. That's going to be the 3-0 for me.